Yes, Annalise. Hi, everyone. Hi, guys. Okay. Welcome and happy Valentine's Day to y'all, to all y'all. Let's see. How can we work this? I don't want to keep looking up. Hi, babies. Just making this work. How's everyone doing on this wonderful, surreal holiday situation? Let's see, does that work? I think that's gonna work. Okay, cute. And now, wonderful. So welcome to this, the first ever EdibleSpirit live call-in show. Got into the habit of doing a format like this with my boo, John Hill, on Sirius, whose show I do on Sirius Radio. But now, then we did a Facebook Live show called Let's Get Mystical, which was really cute and fun, and we had people calling in. And so this is actually the first time that we're doing it for EdibleSpirit Experience subscribers, which is also pretty dope. Let's see, let me just make this work. That'll do. That'll do. Okay, so for those of you who are just tuning in, welcome. And for those of you that are experienced members, thank you so much. And I can't wait to get to you and take your calls. And for those of you that are not, you should join. So go to the links on Instagram or to ediblespirit.com to find out about the experience so that you too can call in and get a reading. Just so you all know, the intention behind this is to provide a way for my subscribers to get in-depth readings that are longer than just a 2-minute thing. But also, the main impetus behind this is to encourage a little more transparency with our healing material. Oftentimes, people are very protective of their healing material, the challenges, the things that are, difficult for people, or that, that are hard, or that, like PS on a day like today, on Valentine's Day, like love. Everybody's thinking about love all the fucking time, but nobody's ever talking about love. Or everybody's talking about love all the time, but acting like they're the only ones. Or so it was very interesting. I almost feel like because of just whatever's in the air right now, it's like there's all of these wonderful compensatory statements being made about Valentine's and how love can be between friends and we shouldn't, pigeonhole intimacy and all of that stuff. Let us remind you that love is in you, and love is between you and yourself. And as Master, Mistress, Queen, Ascended Master Rue, even though she hasn't fully ascended yet, would say, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love someone else? There's deep medicine and deep wisdom in there, but the truth of it is it's because this idea, and one of the things we're passionate about at EdibleSpirit, is this idea of separateness is an illusion. And this idea of you're over there and I'm over here is really like a cognitive framework that feels more comfortable until it doesn't, until it's stifling. And then we fall in love and we're like, ooh, we are one, or we as humanity are trying to assert like we are one. But the point is that when you meet yourself or another person in the heart, when you love them, that's how we think about it, is that we're meeting in the heart and we're more alike than we are different, more similar than we are separate, more together than we are separate. So I just think it's important to remember that that's what we're talking about here. And again, all healing really ultimately occurs in the heart and the mind. I think the key to healing is in the mind, but it actually occurs in the heart. So again, on this day of love, just wanting to remind you guys that love, that healing is love, right? Healing is a proposition of loving yourself more and finding dark corners or shadows where you think the love can't get in, and shining your light on it, shining your love on it until it's illuminated and exposed. So mainly what I'm trying to communicate here is that thank you to all of you who are calling or who are about to call, because I'm really grateful to you for sharing yourself and sharing your healing in this insane digital format. Our gut suspicion is just that, I mean, we know this from all of the call-in shows we've done, is that if it's happening to you, someone else needs to hear it too. If you're going through it, someone else is probably going through it too. So that's why we've done this as part of the Edible Spirit experience, to give subscribers a chance to get juicy, yummy readings, but also to give all of us an opportunity to open our hearts together, hear each other's truths, love each other, love the stories, love it fucking all. So happy Valentine's Day. That's what we're here for. Okay, let's just see. I'm going to make sure. I wonder if anybody's called in yet. Cool. Well, for those of you that are watching and that are subscribers, give us a ring. Give us a ring, making sure that everybody has their phone number. Cute. So who wants a reading? Who's calling in? I see you all there, all of my beautiful experience babies. Okay. Meanwhile, what I will let you know is that if you are in Los Angeles this weekend, hopefully you will swing by Alegria Bazaar on Sunday the 17th for Aura Picks. We're going to be doing Aura Picks all day there from 11 to 5 by donation to help cure any Valentine's hangover that you might have in the name of unconditional love. We'll be doing that at Alegria Bazaar, 128.5 North Larchmont. On Monday the 18th, we're going to be doing a full moon live stream. And then on, full moon live stream, Monday the 18th, I'm pretty sure at 3 p.m., but you can find that on EdibleSpirit.com. And then, oh good, Heidi's calling. And then, let's make sure it goes through. And then Full Moon Live is on Monday. And then what else is happening? Oh, also on Monday, we go into Pisces. The sun goes into Pisces. So shit's going to get real. Okay, good. Ringing busy. Okay, hang on one second, Heidi. Let me just make sure I know what's up here. Okay. Okay, stick with it, you guys. I anticipated this happening. Don't worry. Don't just stick with it. Let me figure out what's going on here. I know you have the correct numbers. Let me just double check this. Okay, we're gonna get this. Don't worry. Okay, wait, hang on, you guys. Okay, so rings are on. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So let me I've just got to make sure I didn't screw up the number. I don't think I did. Let's just see. Come on, feet, don't fail me now. Well, this is real freaking boring. Sorry about this, you guys. Just making sure Didn't do anything crazy. Just making sure I gave you the right number. Okay. Heidi, D. Marie, will you try it one more time? Just try it again, you guys. Oh, that's what I should do actually, is log out and log back in. Try me again, you guys. Tell me if you're trying again. Angels. Hello, everyone. Okay, hold on one more time. Okay, gonna try one more thing, you guys, so stick with me. What's going on is that the test of this worked before, but now it's not working. Okay, well, in the meantime, while I'm just waiting for this to boot up, I'm gonna pull a Valentine's Day card that just tells us how best to connect to ourselves and each other on this glorious Valentine's Day. Aw, it's lovely. It's the Strength card reversed. So it's telling us to really lay down our arms, tame our beasts, give up the ghost, all of that. Let's see. Okay. One more time, guys. Okay, try one more time, you guys. Please, please. Thank you. I think this is going to work. Okay, alternative plan. Heidi and D. Marie, because you're there, why don't you guys email me the the number you want me to call you at, and I'll call you back from the phone. Just because I don't know why this isn't working. It should be working. Robots, go to settings. Should really be working. Okay. Oh, okay. My email is, let's go for EdibleSpirit@gmail.com. EdibleSpirit@gmail.com. Yes. So anyone who wants a reading now, who's a subscriber, I'm going to check with you. Email me. Okay. And that's how we'll do this. Okay. Let's make sure. We'll see who came in first. Great, 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 great. Okay, great. So I'm just going to go in order, babies. And this would be, yay, Marianne. Okay, cool. I'm going to call you Marianne. Okay, good. Heidi, you emailed me. Great. Let's see. Making sure. And there's Rach. Okay, beautiful. So that's how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to call Marianne right now. 203. There's Tia Marie. 73. Oh, I'm not going to say that. Sorry. Okay. Hoping this works now. I'll figure this out ultimately. Ooh, is it working? Okay. So now, I'm terribly sorry about this, you guys. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna try one more sound. This is you never make excuses when you're on the air. Just apologies. Okay. You're so sweet. Oh, bastards. Okay. So we're gonna do. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna have to call you like this, and we'll see if that works. This is the best show ever. Okay, let's see if this works. Someone's
Hi, it's Heidi.
Hi, Heidi. Yay.
Yay.
Okay, we did it. Okay, you guys, we did this. So, welcome, my love.
Thank you. Welcome to you too.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you perfect.
Okay, great. Let's just make sure. Okay, so I know it's not even Mercury retrograde, but yesterday was the Mars-Uranus conjunction. So Uranus can cause weird things with Aquarius and with electricity and with internet and with all of that. Someone's knocking on my door. I don't know what that's about, but I'm not going to pay attention to it right now. So, my love, Heidi, what's on your mind? What's going on? What would you like to get into today? Do you have any questions, or is there anything you want to ask about, or what's up?
I do. So this year, starting on January 7th, has been an incredible amount of change in my career, things that were surprising. But I think in retrospect that I also felt some sort of change coming.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be something I would initiate, and I don't know how in depth to go, but it's been essentially the hardest month that I've had since my father passed away,
Mm-hmm.
or like it's just been a really intense, and this your content has been so helpful to focus on, and just I know the change is coming and it's happening for me, not to me, and everything is okay. It's been very uncomfortable and a big teacher for me, but I just don't know if you have any advice into what's happening next or what I should do. I'm just in this place. I don't know if I just need to get used to this new normal or really just take this as a time to go find something new. I'm very kind of confused and playing it day to day, which is comfortable for me. I'm not really a 5-year plan type of person.
Totally.
So that's
no, it's perfect. I mean, what's interesting about your question is you use your understanding of change is powerful, and it is what we have spiritual practice for, is to be able to stay balanced and at peace and connected to ourselves as much as possible while everything's going wrong around us, right? And remembering also that we get stronger not because these things are easy, but because we are making a practice of connecting to our center while the ship is rocking, right? So, right? Make sense?
Yes.
So I think the interesting thing to remember is that, no, totally, you know, these changes aren't happening to you. You're processing them and trying to understand them so that you can integrate them into your day to day. But P.S., there is a line where sometimes the changes are happening to you. When it's a surprise, when it's an upset, you know, a lot of the healing is to reframe and recontextualize and try to wrap your head around things. But what's actually interesting about you here is like, no, you weren't expecting this. And what I'm getting for you is that does not mean you're supposed to just take these changes and live with them. It's like you've now had the outside world, the universe cause change. And now you're starting to gear up, not just to say, okay, how am I going to keep rolling with these punches, but what do I will to happen? How do I want things to change? So if change is the law of the universe, if the only constant is change, and you just had some things happen to you that were out of your control, you can find your center by recontextualizing them so that it feels like, you know, it's all a part of the plan and it's all a part of the process, because it is, but it still also just fucking happened to you, you know? So
yeah.
I want you to acknowledge both of those things and remember that, like, I mean, geez, and you bring up your dad too. It's like, for me, ever since my dad passed, every small trauma just seems to push the buttons of the big traumas. You know, it's like every loss just feels like all of the losses kind of all put together. So what I think is interesting with all of that said, we're making peace with it, we're integrating it, we're owning it, we're accepting it. The reason that we do that is not just so that we sit down and take it. The reason that we do that is because it's what connects us to our core and to our roots. By accepting, right? By accepting, by owning, by wrapping your head around it. The point of it is not just to make peace with it. The point of it is to be at peace so that then all of your superpowers activate so that you can then will to create what you want to create. And this has been coming up in the readings the last couple of weeks. Remember, not this week, but last week with the little portal of I envision my perfect future or whatever that was. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's like, if you're in a bad mood, if your heart is broken, if you're sad, if you're just crying, if you're thinking about your dad, and you're looking at a window that has your perfect future in it, you might look at that window and be like, meh, whatever, you know, it's cool, whatever. But if your root chakra's plugged in, if you have made peace with what's happened, if you've done the work to recontextualize, the whole point is for you to be able to stay plugged in, stay centered, stay balanced, and from that place, activate your superpowers, activate your will, activate your sense of purpose. So the English translation for you it sounds kind of like, okay, so now you've made peace, now you're going day by day, you're being optimistic, but maybe the way that you change your pace is by leaning into it a little bit more and actually saying, no, I'm doing all of my homework and grunt work by staying centered and balanced and calm. And now I'm going to use that centeredness and balancedness and calmness to write a fucking check to the universe and say, cash this, bitch. So, and the whole magical spell of that is to remind yourself, and this is what I'm going to write down, and what I would encourage you to write down is, I choose when it's time to change, right? Oh, that was this week too, right? I'm free to change course, right? I choose when it's time to change. But then this is another analogy that I love that's popping up. I get to order the pizza. I get to order the pizza. I know it will come. I just can't, decide what car it shows up in, right? What car it shows up in, or who delivers it, right? Or who delivers it.
Mm.
Or to some extent, like, you can order, you know, pepperoni and mushrooms on the pizza, but they might send it with fucking sausage. You know, you never know. So my point is that there's many spaces along the way where there can be errors, right? In terms of ordering it. But what I'm trying to draw your attention to, and what Spirit's drawing your attention to, I choose when it's time to change. I get to order the pizza. So to some extent, it's almost like, okay, you've rolled with the punches, you made it happen, but now you've forgotten that you're allowed to order whatever pizza you want. So what that means, how do you want to change? What is the way in which you want to change? Do you want a new position? Do you want, you know, a new position with the same amount of money and less responsibility, right? Do you want a new position with different people and more money, right? Do you want a different path entirely? My sense here is not actually that you want to change everything right now. My sense is that you're probably going to want to remember your power to order the pizza, get what you need, and make sure that it's a little bit better than what you just had, and that will be a great reminder to you of your power and of your ability to call and like order the pizza, not care what car it shows up in. There's pepperoni on half and mushrooms on the other half. It's fine. I'll mix it up a little bit. So you see, you're still going to keep rolling with the punches. We're just trying to get you to remember that you have the primary power to do what needs to be done. You have the primary power to call the shots. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. How's that feel?
Feels really good because I think when everything first started happening, the people involved did not expect me to take charge of when the change was going to happen. Like it's been so many surprises, and I just also have to say we never eat pizza, and we just ate a pepperoni and mushroom pizza for Valentine's dinner.
Are you kidding?
No.
With pepperoni and mushrooms?
With pepperoni and mushrooms.
Okay. Now this is proof. This is how you know she's a channel because fucking nobody's that good. That was. Yeah. I'm just as shook as you are when that stuff goes down. So
I knew we were meant to be together, like ever since I heard your voice for the first time. So I'm so happy to be here, and I'm thankful for the time.
I really appreciate it too, and I'm really glad we get a chance to let this all breathe. And so I'm going to just pull 3 cards for you now because I love to channel, and when I'm on the radio, I love to just do it like that. But it's nice to sometimes pull the cards to just see what other reflection we can get, okay?
Okay.
What this says is it says that your heart has not been full in this situation for a minute. And that, yes, so all 3 of these cards are reversed also. I'm using the Voyager deck. All 3 of the cards are reversed, which does say that there's energy trapped up here. There's energy locked down. There's something just below the surface. There's something, not all of this is immediately obvious, but there's also a lot of power here because if we turn all 3 cards over, we get the kind of upright, clear read. So I'm going to read it for you reversed, and then I'm going to read it for you upright. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the past was, yeah, there was hope. It was fine. It was giving you what you need. There's even a little bit of an implication that when you started with this this work, that there was optimism and hope, like we were talking about last week, that it felt pretty good. You know, it didn't feel bad. Yeah. And that now we are in a territory where no matter, the card is called dullness reversed, and dullness reversed is like sparkliness, right? So the theory here is that we had to turn your dullness upside down through causing problems, very Uranian energy, right? We had to turn your dullness upside down because of this Uranian problematizing energy, right? Uranus is also connected to the tower, where we got to blow everything up in order to put the pieces back together. So in this case, it's saying, no, like, you would have been really fucking bored for a really long time. You know, there's even a little something of like, no, you couldn't keep going like this. That's probably what you were saying about you know, you expected that something was off, but you didn't quite know what. You know, it's like at the end of your rope a bit. And then what this says here is, again, this says it's the Five of Cups reversed. The Five of Cups is like a card where not a lot of stuff works out, but not everything goes wrong. And so the fact that it's reversed here, I'm remembering one of the first decks I ever read. This card was called Melancholy, and it was about mourning. Oh, there you go, girl. It was about mourning the end of things, right? And that, you know, and that to some extent, not to some extent, what this card says to us is that it's like it's already over, even though it hasn't died. You know, it's like you're at the end of your rope. The fuse is short. The milk has been spilt. You know, and like the only thing left to do is cry. Right? When it's upright, this card sometimes is like, don't cry over spilt milk. And it's like reversed. It's like, no, baby, the milk is all over the fucking place. So maybe you should start with crying so that you can remember your power and your clarity. And again, what I would say here is like, don't overcomplicate your life, especially as the Edible Spirit experience is throwing all of this content at you. Don't overcomplicate it by working too many pans at once. I would say it would be really helpful for you to have a clear 3-item list of what you will to change now. What do you want to change yesterday? What is it time to change? What was it time to change yesterday? And what I would say is like, put that somewhere you can see it. And again, remembering, I don't need to control the car that it shows up in, but every time I look at these 3 items that will change, I'm remembering that I'm the one who orders the fucking pizza. I get to call this in. I get to decide that now is the time. P.S. If it wasn't the time, I would be telling you like, okay, you still have that power, but maybe now is not the ideal time to use that power. You know, my sense is more so that you're in the swirl of this right now, and that what your heart really needs out of this is a reminder that you do have the power to change anything and everything, which, my love, I hate to bring it full circle, but was the affirmation for this week, right?
Yeah.
I am free to change course. I am free to change course. I'm free to change course. So that's what I would say is that before you go blowing anything up more so, before you go having a fight or, you know, causing a fuss, my sense would be more so to channel that thunderbolt, lightning, power energy in the very direction of yourself, right? Simply saying, in the direction of those 3 items that you will to change, that you will to transform, okay?
Yeah.
And I would say make that a practice, and then basically, you know, we're checking this between now and the full moon, which is on Monday. So I would say do this work over the next like 3-4 days, and then ride this wave until the new moon. My sense is that by the time we get to the new moon, yeah, it's like you're going to feel a much greater sense of momentum and self-sufficiency and agency, even if you haven't like blown everything up or put everything else into place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like, even if you haven't blown everything up or put everything else into place, it's going to be all right. And you should see a sign of that by the time you get to the new moon, which will be the time to sort of like recommit to the new plan. But you want to double down and go hard between now and the full moon on Tuesday. Sorry, I misspoke. Go hard between now and the full moon on Tuesday in terms of reminding yourself, I get to order the pizza. I get to order the pizza. I decide when to call. I decide what I want. I'm fucking phoning this in. I don't necessarily get to say exactly what time it arrives or what kind of car it comes in or exactly how they place the pepperonis on the pie, but I have the power. I have the power. I have the power. I am free to change my course. So it's almost like you're changing your course internally and then watching it change externally. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, my love.
Woo!
Ooh, girl. Okay, good. You feel the flow? You feel the vibes?
Yeah, I do.
Good.
Thank you. It makes
Bless
sense.
you. Bless you, my dear. I'm going to take the next caller. I love you so much. Happy Valentine's Day.
Love you. Happy Valentine's.
Okay, ciao, bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was exciting. It looks like I'm now able to get calls again. So, ooh, I think I just saw one. Who this? Oh,
Press 1 to start the call or 2 to decline. The call
hello?
will start at the beep.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Is this Marianne?
It is Marianne. How are you, sweetheart?
Yay, it's so great to hear your voice.
Oh, I listen to you every day.
You're the best.
I do. I just play my Elements of Spirit over and over so I don't forget.
Wow, major. It's so good. That's great. You're not even just writing it down. For those of you that don't know, let me do a quick plug. For those of you that don't know, part of the Edible Spirit experience is a weekly video reading channeled from us to you through the elements of earth, air, fire, water, and ether. All you guys know this. Just talking to the Instagram children. Each of the readings has an affirmation with it. And the whole point is to look, I always used to get stressed that I wasn't doing enough to stay plugged into my spiritual experience. And then when it was time, when it was like a new moon or a full moon, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to plug in. And I would go to my favorite resources here and there, but it was always just too much information all over the place. And so we tried to create this, and we created Edible Spirit and the Edible Spirit experience to provide you with ways of plugging in and checking in throughout the week. So with the Elements of Spirit readings, you get an affirmation, 2 affirmations every week that are almost like a little magical key for you to use throughout your week. And, I love everybody, and I love everybody's transformations and changes, and even the tiniest growth is massive. But Marianne, girl, I have a lot of respect for you for all of the business that you've been doing and all of the magic that you've been channeling. So just mucho love. This one knows how to do it, how to use the experience. So do you have a question today, my dear? Is there anything you want me to look into?
I do have a question, but I want to tell you one thing first. Since I've been working with you, I hit a milestone.
What happened?
I lost 100 pounds.
Are you fucking kidding me?
100 pounds. Yeah.
God bless. I mean,
Started with you.
And what's so interesting, I was working with someone the other day, and we actually learned in her case, it's different from you, but that in her case, she was almost like holding on to energy in a certain place. And the guides gave her this incredible practice to release this energy, to visualize actual like energetic drainage coming out of her body. And it was a very specific practice. And it reminded me of one of our first sessions together, because I remember that your guides were like, it's not about the weight. It's not about the weight. It's not about the weight. But if she does this and this and this and this and this, it'll be like, what weight? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. It was the easiest thing I've ever done. I just followed everything you said and focused on all the things that you told me to focus on, and it just happened.
You're the greatest. That is
That's
so
awesome.
cool. Well, but again, what it is you, like a lot of the other experience members, are dipping into this and like I said, using it when you're ready, not when someone tells you to, but like when you're ready. And then we try to time everything and schedule things so that it's in alignment with the natural cycles of time. Because like, why would we're about to go into Pisces season, right? Which is like all of the feelings and all of the sensations, and like, it's very emotional and very easy to overeat and all this stuff. It's like, it would be a terrible time to do like a juice fast or something, it would be crazy. It would be, a great time to go on a dietary regimen is like Taurus season, so we don't have to do these things, but the whole idea is that like, it's hard enough to get out of bed and go to work and, not want to cry, let alone like transform, So we try to provide you with these ways of doing it, but we're also that are easy for you when you're ready for it, but we're also trying to synchronize it with the larger cycles so that we get that extra magical mojo. Because if you remember also, magic, and especially old Western magic, but even Eastern Chinese medicine evolved out of man reflecting on nature, and tuning into the forces within themselves and trying to make sense of the stars and the light and the cycles and all of this stuff. So it's one of the quickest and easiest ways to set yourself back on course is to tune into the natural cycles of time. But if you come to Edible Spirit, that's what we're already trying to do for you. So thank you so much for that reflection, my love. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. No, thank you. So I have a very cliche question.
No, please tell me. What is it?
So there's this guy. So someone I work with, very close friend, that I have noticed a little bit of a shift in the way I feel when I see him and walk by him. And he asked me out to dinner for my birthday. And so I am wondering if you see anything, because, I do have this history of misreading friendships into something more. So I just wondering what you might get from that.
Well, so one of the things that I see is they're showing a lot of like eye contact. And what's interesting here is that they show him looking away a little bit and looking to his side and almost looking nervously away. And I think one of the things I want to remind you of is that, you are a healer, and everyone we work with, we emphasize that with them, but that one of the things that you get to do here that's exciting is to make eye contact and also to not withhold yourself, to not withhold your actual authentic energy. Oh, Jesus, my guides are giving me like a sense of your energy. You're like bottled lightning right now. You've got so much action in there that my sense here is that you don't even realize that you're holding that back a little bit. And that one of the ways that you can get him to move forward a little bit and to make his intentions a little bit clearer and to lead a little bit more is actually to, God forbid, just be yourself a little bit more. And by being yourself, I don't mean Mother Mary Ann, right? I mean, be lightning in a fucking bottle. Be just a little bit too much. Your guides are also reminding me right now, they're like, what's interesting is that she's in a place these days where she can raise her voice and even be angry, and it doesn't seem like anger. She's developing a command of her voice, right? And so what I would say here with you is I'm not saying tell him how much you like him. I'm not actually saying communicate more. I'm saying open the jar of your lightning bottle a little bit more. Let some of the lightning out. Let yourself snap, crackle, pop. Don't hold back around them. Allow yourself to be a little crazier than you think you can be. Because I think that you're also used to being a little crazy like that and then being told to shut up, So specifically I'm saying romantically. So I think the fun thing about this is you get to be a little bit louder, crazier, extra, funny, jokey, pokey, so that's what I would say is like, you be like a swirl of Uranus energy. And my sense, P.S., rewind. So in terms of the predictiveness of this, the idea is like, it feels like he's more than just friend interested. But it feels to me like you and he both deserve that to be declared by him. Do you see what I mean? It's not up to you to do the work to say this and to introduce it into the room. But also remembering that dating is weird, and like it's also not up to you to like just try to get him to do something and like say how he really feels and whatnot. So the middle ground is that if you turn up your volume a little more, let yourself joke a little harder, be a little funnier, be a little crazier, be a little friskier. Just let the sort of like Jack and Diane, like 16-year-old energy come out of you. with this person, it feels like it causes everybody to relax a little bit, and then he's able to lock eyes, make eye contact, and keep it really tight. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm just going to pull a couple little cards for you, just because I don't have anybody telling me I'm not allowed to. And let's see. Okay, it's great. So what this says is I love this. So it says in the past, we have this card, which is the actor. Let's see if it'll focus on it. It's the actor. It's all about presentation, actions. It's the Man of Wands. So it's, okay, wait, I'm going to tune into it intuitively too. Yeah, it feels like this is someone who doesn't do, it's not that he's not spontaneous, but it feels like it's someone who doesn't really do the spontaneous things. It feels like he thinks of himself as being spontaneous, but he's not actually he doesn't act as spontaneous as he thinks he is and as he actually is. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So the idea here is that it feels like was he married before too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like he's almost like holding on to the matchsticks, from just in case he needs to light a fire. It's like a little bit like, oh, I don't really do that, And so there's a seriousness about it, which is causing him to wear a little bit more of a mask than either of you would really like. Make sense?
Yeah.
And then in the present, what it says, it's beautiful. It's the Two of Cups, it's the card of romance, and it's blocked. It doesn't mean that it's not romantic. It usually means, there's a sweetness and an innocence about it. So I would say, like, with this, I would say be careful it doesn't tip into the friend zone. If you don't want it to go that way, then by all means, don't say, like, I want to be with you like this, but do lean in and be a little crazier and a little goofier and a little flirtier and a little pokier. It's the equivalent of hitting him on the arm, physical contact. But like, you're not obsessing over it. You're not thinking about it too hard. You're just trying to go, you know what? Whatever you think this is or whatever you think this needs to be, I'm not fucking hanging my hat on you either. So I'm just going to poke you a lot so that you're not so serious. Okay?
Okay.
And then the final card in this spread is the Fool reversed, which I think is great because, again, it's the energy of the Fool. Whee! But also tempered a little bit. Not my first time at the rodeo, It's like we want you guys to be able to be free and happy. And the final card where I'm like, how is this going to turn out? The card is Illumination. So what I would say to this is, again, based on where it's at right now, it's an ace, right? The Ace of Wands, Illumination. It's saying that it is very much worth it. It is very much worth it for you to even feel like you could make a fool of yourself because you're not gonna. It's like it's not even that high stakes if you're just poking. But this says, like, there's a lot of light here. There's a lot of possibility here. But with an ace, when an ace shows up in the tarot, it usually implies that something has to be done in order to get the fruit of that card. So in this case, it's Wands, which is action. So in order to get the fruit of action, in order to get the action, something needs to be done. Something needs to be torqued or twerked somehow. And what I'm saying, I always think of the breakup with Jen Aniston and Vince Vaughn when she's like, I want you to want to do the dishes. It's like, nobody wants to play that back and forth game, but guess what? Like, that's the excruciating part of dating, texts and calls and what do I say and when do I say it? So honoring that, I'm saying I don't think you should do the grunt work that makes it super easy on this person, but I think that if you do nothing and if you wait for them to do everything, that there is, based on what I'm seeing here, a potential for it to just slip into the friend zone. But absolute worst case scenario, you would see it, he would see it, and you would both learn a lot about it sliding into that zone. So my sense is that there is a lot of possibility. There is, there's a lot of, there's a lot of practical stuff to be learned from this. It feels like this is a great person. Oh, what I would say, English translation, 100% great fucking person to go out with on your birthday. You know?
Okay.
That to me, I have no qualms about whatsoever. And that based on what I'm looking here, just backing up, were you to sit across from this person, if it's going great and you've been poking, then you'll both be able to talk about it. If it's not, then you'll both be able to talk about it. If it's somewhere in between, you're going to be able to like really get into what's going on here. And I just think it's important for you to lean in with that Uranian shit stirrer, 16-year-old juvenile delinquent. Like, what do you got? Hey, Ma, like Johnny's coming to take me out for my birthday. You know, like, it's like, go to that place because, you've had plenty of things preventing you from going to that place. But as I see it now, there's really fucking nothing stopping you from going there. Okay?
I can't wait. Okay. I can't wait. All right, great.
All right, my love. And let it be sweet. Let it be fun. Let it be mutual. You also have history with this person. So, enjoy the flow. I was reading something. I talked shit about it at the beginning of the night when we first started the stream, but I was reading something. We hang a lot on concepts of intimacy as being part of monogamous romantic relationships. And personally, as like a saucy Scorpio, I like intimacy in just about every situation possible. And I would say here that because of your past and because of your present, why not just make the intention to enjoy the flow of intimacy between you guys? Because whatever it is or whatever it becomes, that zhuzh is kind of already there and it's kind of already beautiful. Yeah?
Yes, it definitely is.
Intimacy. So for you and for all of us, participating and listening, like, let's make a promise to ourselves to find and enjoy intimacy responsibly, of course, but when we can. Because one of the things that our phone definitely does not do is make things more intimate. I mean, unless you're watching this right now through your phone, that could be a glorious kind of digital intimacy. But you see what I'm saying? It's like you got that right now in your heart. That's what you've been building within yourself so much. So, this person should count themselves very lucky to be able to share an experience in whatever the fuck you got going on. And so I would say, why not meet it with the same thing? Be like, wow, cool. It's not even lowered expectations. I want real intimacy with this person. I want to connect. I want to be together on my birthday. I want it to be fun. I want it to be bright. I want it to be easy and flowy and good. Beautiful intentions all around, okay?
Okay.
Love you so much, my dear.
Thank you. I love you too.
Talk to you soon.
soon.
Bye. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's working. The calls are working. The calls are... Garden fucking City!
Start the call or queue to decline.
Who this?
The call will start at the beep.
Who is this? Who is it?
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, it's Dia.
Dia! Hi, honey!
How are you?
Oh my god, I don't think you know this about me, but did you know that my family used to have a restaurant in Wantagh?
No, I did not know that.
Isn't that crazy? I used to take I used to go through your phone came up Garden City, so I was just like, yes!
Yes, it's funny. I saw you, I was in Cape Cod? Was that where? No, Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
I was there like 3 weeks, and then I saw that your mom was closing the restaurant. I saw you post all the pictures. I was like, oh, I didn't get to stop and see it. And then I saw that it was connected to you. I thought it was such a funny thing because I've been watching you since July and had no idea.
What a trip! That's so cool. It was a very magical and just such a crazy end of summer. It was so, but yeah, I've always been, kind of by the ocean in these various places because my family's been in the restaurant business, my whole life. So, and thus EdibleSpirit, that's
amazing.
What can I do for you today, honey? Happy Valentine's Day. You have any questions or what do you want to look into today?
So
it's a weird, I don't know, it's a kind of jumbled question.
Okay.
So like I said, I've been watching you and I think I've been doing really great work spiritual wise. Like I've been on a great path. Things like you said, things that you've been saying and doing, I am a Capricorn to the T and they've been on point. The Earth readings have been so on point. But my difficulty is actually with my son. He's really spiritual, I guess you'd say, or has a lot of energies connected with him.
Yep.
And he's been having a lot of difficulties in school. And it's weird because they're like, I almost can tell. In the morning, I'll be like, okay, I prayed to Archangel Michael. I'll light Palo Santo, like sage around him. And I find myself praying. And then I'll get a phone call from school. He got into a fight or he got into like an argument. So I've been kind of on this road where I feel like we need to leave New York. And I just want to kind of know if you feel like that's a good sense or you get a sense that that would be a good idea.
Got it. Okay, so there's a couple things. So I have to give you, one is the disclaimer, which I'm going to give you because I want to talk about your son and I want to talk about the remembering that I'm not a medical professional. So obviously, if there's something going on chemically or mentally or emotionally, you've got to find even evaluation or school counselor or just someone who can just check and make sure that he's okay. Because my sense, and this is why I'm about to say this to you, is that my sense is that he's actually like me in that he has a channel. He has a really wide open channel. And I'll explain stuff to you.
He does.
Were you going to say something that I interrupted?
No, I was just agreeing with you. He does. I've had many people tell me in the past, like, he is very sensitive and he like sees things, feels things. He's funny. He has an old soul that goes with him everywhere. And like he'll talk about a time when there was no electricity, no lights, like what it used to be like. And I'm like, there's no way you know that. You're 6 years old. But he'll talk about it as though he's experienced it.
Right. And this is really disorienting. And it's a thing that, we don't have a context because we literally aren't allowed to talk about this stuff in schools. And there's so many controversial ideas about what's happening with kids' brains, with kids that are on the spectrum, with kids that need to be medicated or don't need to be medicated. And so the disclaimer that I always give is you really want to make sure psychologically, emotionally, and chemically, physically that he's okay. And I would just say a counselor or someone just to talk to him and see what that perspective is, okay? Because the other side of it is about the gift. So my sense is that, especially based on the other information that you're giving me, I think he's a channel. I think he hears spirit. But based on what you're saying to me, he might just be really fucking porous, really wide open, in that he's receiving ideas, thoughts, words, feelings, images, kind of all over the place. Does that sound true?
Yes. Yes, it does.
So what I want to do is simultaneously give you something to treat all of it, and then harness the channel. Okay. So I read something right before we went online today that was on Instagram that was like, if we that one of the great ones said recently is that if we taught every 8-year-old how to meditate, we would eliminate world violence in one generation, right? If every 8-year-old was made to be taught to meditate. So let's just see. Hang on. Hold on, my love.
No worries.
So so in order to treat all of it, the best tool is protection, grounding, and power, right? And what's delicate about this is that your 6-year-old angel needs to be the one that is told that he's safe, okay? And who has the ability to make himself feel that he's safe, and who has the ability to make whatever's coming at him stop whenever it's coming at him, okay? Now, I recognize that's going to be challenging because he's 6. So what I would suggest is that you make a kind of magical, mystical, affirmation-based game out of it, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to set the intention, and you would write this on a paper, that
I'm already writing.
good, that when my son says blank, right, and
Okay.
does blank, his energy will be perfectly protected by Archangel Michael, because I'm just going off of that because you said it. You could substitute anyone you want in here. His energy will be perfectly protected by Archangel Michael. His heart, will be soothed by Mother Mary or whomever, right? And he will be in control and at peace, okay? So now, what you then do is you make that almost like a magical spell for yourself so that you're really fucking clear about it. That when he does this and when he says this, this is what happens. And then we add on to it the wonderful old, witch disclaimer. Only if this is in his highest good, and healing, right? Highest good and healing. Because then you're not violating his free will. So let me break this down just a little bit for you, because let's just say your son is a wildly advanced spiritual being, and you, being his mom, want to protect him and make him feel safe and make him feel secure and make him feel grounded. You're going to be able to do that until he's old enough to do it his damn self, right? That's the idea. You do everything you can for them until they can take care of themselves. But, at the end of the day, if he is a wildly advanced spiritual being, it's his karma. It's his karma to have too much happening. It's his karma to figure out what to do about that. It's also his karma to have his mom around him to do this, to subscribe to the fucking Edible Spirit experience, have this conversation with Mikey at this point, and go back with the plan of attack. You see? So all of this is part of the karma, but you want to make sure that you're respectful of his free will so that you're not doing it for him, so that you're giving him what he needs to be able to do it for himself. Make sense?
Yeah.
Basically good parenting, right?
Yeah,
it's dope.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, let's look at the other side of this. If something is off, if there's a chemical imbalance, a physical imbalance, a psychological imbalance, an emotional imbalance, then the thing that I've learned over time is that all of the magical spells and affirmations in the world are going to be difficult if the mind, body, spirit, heart, emotion complex can't say or do the thing, or when the overload comes on, can't remember to say or do the thing. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing, and that's what I'm trying to say to you, that you're going to have to feel out here. If you can do a little exercise like this, where you set the intention in advance and then decide with him, okay, sweetie, whenever you feel, woo, what I want you to do is clap your hands 3 times, bow your head to your heart, and take a deep breath, or jump up and down 3 times, or literally like click your heels 3 times, right? Or, pinch your nose and say, boop, 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 a doop, doop, doop. Literally anything. It doesn't matter. But the point is that you want to go in knowing what the action or the spiritual effect that you're going to attach on to this action is going to be. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you're programming his action. So you're saying, whenever he does this, let this and this and this happen in the highest good of all involved with harm to none, and so it is. And then you sit with him and you dream it up and you make it a thing between you guys. Parents have this stuff all the time, right? With all the stuff that you got to teach your kids to do, and to some extent train your kids to do. No? Right?
Yeah. No, definitely.
Good. Little mnemonic devices, these things. So coming up with this thing to protect his energy and to kind of give him an oh shit bar, give him a little pull switch, a kill switch, so that if it's too much for him, he can plug in that way. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number one.
This is great, because this is good.
Okay. What were you going to say?
No, this is great because he's since probably like December, we've been doing like therapy. He's been working all this stuff out, but it's still like, it helps, but it's not the answer. So that's why I was like, all right, I have to try.
It's perfect.
Let's go the spiritual route. And that's when somebody came to me and they're like, oh, he's a crystal baby. He's a rainbow child. And then they started telling me about it and going into it and trying to help me understand it.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because a lot of people have gotten in a lot of shit because they say that the crystal children and the indigo children, there are some less than responsible healers and psychics out there that are saying that every kid who's on the spectrum is an indigo child or a crystal child. You see, so it's like, it's murky territory for me. And so that's why I'm being really clear with you about how to make sure he's spiritually locked and loaded while also checking for everything that you need to check for, right? Okay. So now, the other side of this is that you're basically like, you're programming this program to run every time he does this physical and vocal action. Okay, you got that. That's clear, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so now the next thing to do, how are they going to give this to us? Well, what they're encouraging, I mean, they're straight up encouraging actual meditation. So I would say look for mindfulness. I can't remember what it's called right now, but Goldie Hawn has this incredible mindfulness program that's teaching kids mindfulness and meditation in schools all over the country, and I think all over the world at this point. So look up something like that. But I'm getting a clear sense of what you can do with him that will help. But then additionally, I would say, if he's a crystal child or an indigo child or a rainbow child or what the fuck ever, might as well start him young. I wish I had started meditating when I was 5. It would have been great. So I would say, as much as you're looking for, activities, this, that, the other thing, look for this somehow, even if it's an online thing, but just look for it. You want to make that a part of his life. But then specifically in the very near future, 2 things. Pay very much attention to silence and noise, okay? And pay very much attention and try to get him to pay attention to silence and his breath, okay? So you are in general recognizing that if he is a beautiful, crystalline, spiritual being who's receiving all of the vibrations from all of the sources, the first practice is to get him to be able to turn it off and take control of his space, take control of his aura, his field, all of that. The next element is to say, okay, now that all those are tuned out, we want to open just this one, just the listening faculty. We want to open his clairaudience first and help him to open the clairaudience by listening to either the breath or listening to nothing, okay? And again, I would just say, this is something that a friend of mine clued me into a couple years ago. I've never recognized how much I just assault myself with sounds and with noises and video games and TV and movies and loud music and electronica. And, I'm a channel, I love it. So to me, it's very healing. But for some people, especially...
That's funny, so does he.
He loves it. He likes it all?
He loves anything. Like when he listens to anything on the computer, his volume's up super loud. I have to lower it. He's watching TV. He's playing a video game. He always has like 2 things going on at one time. He's watching TV. He likes music on. Like it's very, a lot.
That's so that to me is someone who sounds like a channel underneath an overall kind of vibrational overload. So my sense is that if you want to do this in 2 parts where you're effectively helping, oh, what an angel, 6 years old, helping him to secure quiet in his field, and then helping him to turn on the volume and remember that he's also in control of that. So given that he loves that and loves the noise, then I would say, okay, sure, turn it down. But also, it's not even quiet time. It's listening time. It's silence time. It's literally like, can we sit together for 5 minutes and look into each other's eyes and just breathe and not listen to anything? I recognize that's impossible with a 6-year-old. So 1 minute, 2 minutes, You're literally just trying to create opportunities for his baby psyche to experience its ultra sensitivity without too much input. And the best way of doing that is energetic protection, grounding, and shielding, as we described. And then also doing what you can as his mom to either mitigate loud noises or incredibly loud noise all the time. And worst case scenario, if you can't do that, just make sure that he's getting good doses of pure fucking silence. Okay?
Yeah.
One of my really good friends who's watching has a practice that they do called baked potato, which is basically like wrap yourself in all the blankets, huddle up into a ball, plug your ears, close your eyes, and just go there. Isolation.
Oh my God, he calls that a burrito.
You're kidding me. He calls it a burrito?
No, he asks to so he has a weighted blanket sometimes, and he'll be like, wrap me up like a burrito. And he wants to be wrapped up and like totally just like in a cocoon almost, think of. And he'll sit there for a few minutes to like help him calm down.
So that is an ideal place and time for you to do the first exercise and to remind him.
Okay.
And, what we really even could say is you could say every time he goes into burrito, that's when Archangel Michael protects him, clears his energy, clears whatever he doesn't need. Mother Mary soothes him, calms him down, brings him peace. Christ, lifts him up, reminds him that he's whole and good. You could fill it with whatever the fuck you want. And then my point is that you could make it something new that he participates in, so he could do it, say, at school, right? Would be the goal ultimately, is that he can go off into the world and have this whatever clapping thing or whatever you guys decide is your motion, so that he can use it. But then in that setting, in burrito mode, it's a perfect time for you to just gently reaffirm all of these things for him. And then, like I said, ultimately in the very end, in that moment, you would literally just encourage him to listen to the silence and enjoy the quiet and enjoy the warmth and enjoy the weight. Because what you're doing then is you're giving him physical sensations that cushion and soften the intensity of the non-physical sensations. See what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Good read, honey.
I like it.
Good stuff. Wow. Okay. I mean, that's what we got. I got to move on. That felt great.
That's awesome. No, it was great. It's funny because I've been thinking it and feeling it, and you know it, but you're just like, I have no idea why I questioned it. I'm like, all right, it's definitely, I know where I have to go with this.
Yep.
So
no, it's really,
thank you for taking my phone call.
You bet. Anytime, honey. And again, but that's also the really important part, because it's important for you to do this spiritually, but also as a mom to understand and research the indigo children and the crystal children a little more, and research, anxiety disorders in young kids, or highly sensitive persons, right? HSPs, right? And at the end of the day, just remember that, like, because again, this stuff gets bandied about, and it might require someone like you who is actually dealing with one of these kids, dealing with one of these kids who is alive and happening and doing what he's doing, for you to have the point of view of like, okay, no, I've actually read all of this stuff, and based on my experience, this is what I think is going on. It's important. So do your homework, okay?
Definitely. Thank you.
You bet. Get back to us. Let us know what's up. I love you so much. Talk to you
I
soon,
will
Angel.
keep you updated.
Great. Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is super fun. I hope someone else is calling in. Chuga. Oh, cool. Here's this. Let's see. Okay. I think we got that. Now we're going to check on... I think I'm going to be able to call y'all back to see who we got to. That was completed. Okay. But I don't want to call you. Let's see. I think you guys are there and available for a call, but maybe if you try calling, because I don't want to just call you back and be wrong. Okay, well, I'll just go through. Did we get to do this one? Forgive me if you don't want to be called, but I'm trying to. Oh, here we go. Here's someone.
Press 1 to start the call or 2 to decline. The call will start at the beep.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Who is this?
This is Rachel. I thought I'd make it easy by just calling you.
I'm so glad. Thank you. You saved my life. My friend, who's also watching, who has a new baby, said that her favorite new TV show, they're exhausted. She said her favorite new TV show is me trying to figure out how to call people. Rachel, thank you so much for calling.
Yes.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Okay, so I have been manifesting like crazy,
Good for you.
so intensely. A new place, a new job. I guess gotta get out of like what's going on now, and it's not coming fast enough. And I don't understand what's happening. Like why there's a delay.
Okay, so you've been doing the work, but you want the timing to move along, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what? It's a good question, and I'm gonna do the read for you, but I also want to actually talk about this because I want to talk about this first, and then I'll dive in and answer I'll look into it and see, is there anything actually getting in the way? But one of the most important and annoying parts of true manifestation is detachment, is total fucking surrender, and is letting go of the outcome. It's true in terms of spells. It's true in terms of just basically any magical formula. It's like you write down your intentions, and at some point you burn them and release them into the universe because you don't actually need the physical anchor, right? You don't actually need the thing to be written down. You write it down, you create it in physicality, you create it in the vision board so that you have something tangible to focus on with your emotions and your mind and your spirit and your whole body and your whole being, and you're looking at it and you're looking at it and you're looking at it and you're looking at it. And if you keep looking at it and 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 keep looking at it, you end up just looking at the thing, as opposed to looking at it until it's cooking and burning so hot that you light it on fire and throw it out the window, throw it out the door and release it. Metaphorically, energetically, you release it so that you can practically day to day, like, not be thinking about it all the time, right? Not be obsessing over it, not be overly focusing on it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. It's totally fucking annoying, I know. Here's the other nicer way that I say this, okay? And this connects to the kind of conventional wisdom of law of attraction, Abraham and, Esther and all of that. 50-50 proposition. 50-50 proposition. 50% spiritual work your titties off, do all of the vision boards, all of the manifestation, all of the everything. 50% is work and practice and manifestation and meditation, and 50% is living your damn life. It's like literally like going to the movies, like going for a walk, like going grocery shopping, because I honest to God, I've worked with people who have been manifesting so hard and in such deep manifestation meditation that they like don't return an email which would have led to a job that then someone else got, so I'm glad you're laughing because this made me throw The Secret out the window. I fucking hated this when I realized this, where it's like, this is also where we get into the territory of co-creation, where you create the intention and spirit answers the prayer. But after many fucking annoying manifestation practices, I was left with the Rolling Stones. You can't always get what you want, but you always fucking get what you need. And I'm like, well, Why? I thought this was manifestation. I thought I was supposed to be getting what I wanted. And it's like, okay, so here's why the 50-50 proposition is important. Is because at the end of the day, if we get what we want and we don't really need it, we're going to throw it to the side anyway. I'm reminded of, early like Super Nintendo Christmases. I never threw a Super Nintendo game to the side, but like a Fisher-Price toy or something that you want as a kid so badly, and then you get it, and like you're going to outgrow it. So at a certain point, you're going to set it aside anyway. So I think one of the things that people get confused with about manifestation is that it's not actually about manifesting your desires. It's about giving yourself the permission to manifest those desires so hard that you get them all and you're choking on your desires. And then eventually you're like, geez, I don't really need all these things. All I actually want is to give something away, And for all of us to have so much of what we want that we can like give stuff away. Time, energy, money, space, attention, whatever, right? Make sense? You with me?
Yeah.
So the other side of it, though, is that if you're 100% quote unquote manifesting, it's not very juicy. It can get very dry, very overheated, very tight. You can get headaches because you're focusing so hard on what you want that you forget that maybe in the surrendering of what you want, you actually get something better that comes along. So this is where general starts to become more about you. One of the reasons why it's worth it to even trick yourself, fool yourself into putting the manifestation down and going and doing something completely unrelated is because it gets you into this space where maybe you don't know best and you're giving your soul, your higher self, your guides, God, Mother Mary, whomever you're working with, you're leaving room for the idea maybe they know what I need. Or if you want to deal with the soul or higher self, maybe I know what I need on a level that actually requires me to think less, do less, focus less, point less. And so honestly, it's like this. It's almost like if you're holding your manifestation like this. Can you see me? Are you watching right now?
Yeah.
If you're holding your manifestation like this, I'm not saying let it go, walk away, fucking forget it. I'm just saying you got to go like this. Because what if what's trying to come to you is this big? What if it's this big? And you're holding space for something that's this big. And within it, you see all of the wonderful stuff that you've decided on. And you're like, this is what I want. This is what I want. But what if there's something better for you? What if there's something bigger and better and more what you need and more what you want even than this? Because P.S., it's very, well, no, I guess when we get what we need, we're like, but I didn't want this. But eventually, your heart is like, okay, but this is what I fucking needed. And to me, that's also love. Like, that's love. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. So in your case, oh, thank you guys. The guys are like, no, that's all we have to say generally. So I'm going to read into, does that all make sense, everything I just said to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what I'm going to say is, I'm just going to say, is there anything here that is getting in the way, or what can be directly engaged in order to clear the way of manifestation? Okay. Yeah, okay, great. So, okay, so basically what they're saying here is that you've been so excited about things as they could be that you're not quite excited enough about things as they are, okay? You're so into the future that you're not really fully in the present, okay? That's the full T, all right? So this gives us a much better way where again, like I'm saying, the first card that came up is the Guardian of Crystals, right? The Woman of Crystals, who's the Guardian. I mean, do you see her? She's so fierce. Look at her. That's you, honey. That's you, master
Yeah.
manifester right now. That's your third eye. That's where the manifestation occurs, right? So focused, surrounded in all this fucking money, and there's her hands holding on to that diamond, right? Perfect example. Now the whole point, we want her to then be like, okay. And that would be symbolized by the Woman of Cups. Hold on, let's see if I can get this for you. By the Woman of Cups. Woman of Cups. The Woman of Cups. Do you see her?
Yeah.
She's literally covered in juice and water and flowers and honey. I mean, I'm going to be crude here. She's squirting all over the place. Like, she's just so flowy, right? And we use that terminology that if you do this too much, you're going to be hot, running hot, hyper-focused, headachy. You want to get into this state of juiciness. The state of juiciness, this card comes up and I say, what can you engage directly? It says the state of juiciness is reversed. The state of juiciness is blocked. And the way I'm reading that for you is just that you're so focused on this juiciness, the juiciness of what could be, that you're missing the juiciness that could be right now. And guess what? All of these big words, I mean, not big words, all of these many words that I'm throwing at you, all of this is to say, on Valentine's this day, woman, surround yourself in the softest things that you can surround yourself in. Make sure everything smells great. Literally, like, force yourself to enjoy the space that you're in, the time that you're in, the body that you're in, the moment that you're in, the heart that you're in, the home that you're in. It's literally like you got to give all of these little air kisses so that while you're like, I have to go to another party. I'm just going to say goodbye to everyone. I love you. I love you. And then you're like, oh my God, a stretch limo just pulled up. Like, I arrived in a Toyota Camry. What just happened? But you see, you're busy doing right by all of the other guests at the party that are your old home, your old job, your old life, your old heart, your old body, your old this, your old that. So it's like, just because you know you want the next thing, you're still in the middle of this thing. So honor it, love it, adore it, kiss it, and then, going back to the elements of spirit from last week, know that fucking shiny, sparkly, crystalline future is yours. Just like chill for a second, right? The other side of it, and the last card that comes up for you is the Seven of Crystals, which came up with an earlier caller today. The card is called Dullness, and it's reversed here for you as well. And so it's literally saying that what stands to happen in your future is that the best way for you to grease the wheels of manifestation and make all of your manifestations come true and come through is to look at the dull, boring, lifeless structures around you with new eyes. Look at them as though they're not dull. Find what you do appreciate about where you're at and what you got. Find what you love about where you are. And it's almost like then, not almost, I mean, conventional wisdom of manifestation is that then Spirit is like, wow, she's creating a vibration of appreciation and gratitude and due diligence and honoring the past and the present. And then it's just like, bloop! Then the fruit is born, okay?
Okay.
Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have a baby.
Okay. Do you want another one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wouldn't rule that out. And one of the things I would say is that you're wanting that. You know exactly what that will entail. You know exactly the joys and the griefs and the nightmares and the sleeplessness and the happiness and the satisfaction. So I would even just say that. It's like, you don't just want all of this stuff because you want to manifest it. You want all this stuff because you want to be there with your babies, just like in heaven, just like not worried, so happy. So the challenge is to pick up the one that you got right now and feel that way today. Just don't worry. Pat yourself on the back. I've done such a good job of manifesting this. I'm so fucking ready to show up for whatever spirit brings me to see this manifestation through. My homework in the meantime is to exquisitely appreciate every cell of my experience, every facet of my experience, and every cell of my being. Okay, no big deal.
Okay. Okay, easy.
Easy peasy. Yeah, love you so much. The last card that comes up for you is the 10 of Wands. Given all of that, just rampant, abundant, massive growth, almost like too much growth. And look at that creepy little baby hand reaching in from out of frame.
Yeah.
Okay, my angel. Love you so much. Happy.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost just said to you happy Thanksgiving, but I think that's the channel. So, like, say thank you a lot tonight, okay?
Okay.
Love
Thank
you so much, Angel. Take care. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Boop, 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 boop. Okay, heads up. I know I missed you. I think, who did I miss? I missed Star. Okay. Call in, Queens. Just see. Who next? Oh, okay. Goldie Hawn Foundation. Goldie Hawn Foundation. Mind Up is what her network is called. What her business called. Okay. Try me again, Star, or just give me the zip code so I can call you back. I just can't tell which one of these is you. Just the first three, and then I can call you right back. Are you 512 or 916, my love? Let me know. P.S. We're at an hour and a half now, so we're going to do 2 more calls, or 1 more if there's only 1 more of you. But okay, great. Let's see who this is.
Press 1 to start the call or 2 to decline. The call will start at the beep.
Hello, my dear.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yay! What's going on? Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. So I have been wanting to create this online program, and I'm wondering if if I'm going down the right path with that.
Interesting. I mean, I have a really simple, we love it. When we've been open and cooking like this for a minute, it's like sometimes the channel is great because clairaudience is great for really solid yes or no answers, as long as all the other bullshit is cleared out of the way, or as long as the channel is flowing so hard that there's the answer. So what I get for you immediately is like, yes, it's good. It's a great idea. I want to say that like there's a little bit of a cushion where you don't actually want to go hard. It feels to me like you almost want to wait a minute before diving in headlong. Does that make sense to you?
Completely.
Okay. And it feels like it's more than 3 weeks, but less than 3 months. You know, so we're looking at.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah, it's not very long. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure what I'm getting is that it's like after Mercury retrograde, and I know for sure that we have. I know Mercury is going to be retrograde on March 8th because I'm doing an event that I'm preparing for technological things to happen adversely. But based on whenever that Mercury retrograde, my sense is that Spirit's saying to us to use the next. 6 to 10 weeks to plan and evaluate and not vision board, but almost like mind map and put some pen to paper, do some systems analysis and troubleshooting, because my sense is that during the time of Mercury retrograde, you're going to want to be working through that time, but not really like making big bets during that time, because it seems like problems that you could have only anticipated during that time will need to come up during that time. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah, it does. And am I needing to go through any additional training to do this? To be successful?
My sense here is that my sense is more so that the answer is like you do need to refine some skills. I was pulling a couple cards and there's a lot of 2s in there, which says to me, initially I was like, are you supposed to have a partner? But I don't think you're supposed to give money away to anyone. Then I was like, are you supposed to hire someone to work for you? But I don't think it's that easy either. My sense is more so that you want to look for more of like a one-on-one situation where you either pay a consultant or a coach, or ideally, you know what the fucking word is? It's a mentor. So I would say you want two things. You want to be looking for a mentor, and then also for someone that you can get like direct instruction from. It could be the same person, but for whatever reason, I'm seeing it because my guides are kind of saying to me, it's like your mentor might be someone who is not necessarily trying to do what you are doing, or who doesn't necessarily have the interest in what you're doing, but who understands the field and knows what you need to hear and kind of can see eye to eye with you. And then my sense is that you could learn from that person, but I almost feel like that's a more delicate relationship where you would want someone who is less amazing and yet more technically qualified to actually teach you what you need to know.
Got you.
Make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Because the sense is almost like what you need to learn, you could learn from like an undergrad or like a grad student who just really knows what the fuck they're doing, you know, rather than partnering with someone that you then have to give money to, or taking on an employee because that's hard, you know, or going. What I don't see here or feel here is like some kind of like certificate or accreditation. That's why my brow keeps furrowing, because I'm like, wait, is she supposed to like, you know, get a plaque or something? But it really doesn't feel like that. What if she were to do something like that? Yeah, it to me, it would just burn a lot of energy that you don't actually need to burn. My sense is that you can be a lot more focused in terms of what you need to learn, but know that what you really need is an ongoing mentor-like figure who you can see eye to eye on, or someone, it could even be someone that like you take out to dinner every few months, you know, just to download, or does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Okay, great.
So I had a relationship with somebody who taught me before. Do you see it being that person?
My sense is just that it could be messy for some reason.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. That was my, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Okay. And I just heads up, I pulled a card that I'm going to keep to myself and not show to the screen here, but just, yeah, I think that you're better off making focused, bold choices where you know what you're getting and how long it's going to take and how much it costs, as opposed to choices that seem like a really good idea because of how all-inclusive they are, that will really just end up making things messy and gumming up your works.
Love it. Love it.
Okay.
Great.
Wonderful.
All right. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for calling. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for using this moment for what it's worth. I mean, this is pretty fun, right?
It's amazing. I love this so much. I listen to your stuff all the time. And what's really exciting, I've been working on my clairs, and like I'll get hits, and then I'll hear you, and I'll be like, "Fuck, I got it!" You know?
Yes.
That's been really exciting. Yeah.
So, P.S. So, a couple of the things that we have coming down the pike, I'm starting to try to teach a little bit more coming up in March, April. I'm working on building up teams of people just to help me with some of this digital crap, so that I can could potentially stream webinars and do a little more intuitive classes. But for experienced subscribers, what we're working on that's next on the list is permanent content. So content that other people would have to basically like buy a guided meditation that you'll have access to. Psychic development meditation, stuff on the elements, stuff on the chakras, stuff that's like up there more, so that, you know, when you have time, when you have energy, when you want to get into the magic a little bit more, you know, you don't just have to wait for one of the live moments. You can actually go and like, you know, learn a little bit.
Oh, I love that.
Wonderful.
So awesome.
Thank you so much, my dear.
Thank
Happy
you so
Valentine's
much.
Day. All my love. Have a great
All
night.
right. Bye.
Bye, babe. Okay. I just saw a 646 come through. And I think I'm not going to call it back. I have one more call. So if someone calls, I'll get that last call. You guys, shook. Shook, 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 shook. This is so much fun. Pronouncing, Deanne! Oh my God, my love, I miss you. I haven't seen you in so long. Okay, here we go.
Press 1 to start the call or 2 to decline.
Last
The call will
caller.
start at the beep.
Hey, last caller, where are you calling from?
Is it me?
It's you!
Oh, wait. Okay. Turn off this.
Yay.
Hold on,
Just
I
turn
gotta
the volume
mute you.
down. Yeah. Oh, wow, cool.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart.
It's so weird to be, it's me now.
It's you! Oh my God, I've been talking about you all night. Thank you so much for calling in.
I'm so excited.
Um,
I haven't slept in like 4 days. I'm a little delirious.
That's great. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, my darling.
How
Tell
can
us what shade lipstick you're wearing because it's perfect.
Ooh, it's I think it's called like LA Butter or something, but mwah, kisses for you, and kisses for Lucian, and kisses for Robert. Mwah.
Oh,
I love you guys.
He just went back in his crib, but he was
Perfect.
not. He was like, Theo Mikey's on the wall. I'm
That's
not going.
hilarious. What do you want to talk about today? You want to ask a question, or what do you feel like?
I have a question.
Tell me.
So I haven't been getting any like words from my guides last few days. I've been getting a lot of like patting on the shoulder, like sort of like sorry for you kind of vibe. I haven't, my baby is teething and he's not sleeping, and he's also just figured out how to pull himself up on his feet, and he's like almost walking, and and he's saying mama and dada, like kind of not quite, sometimes to us, not quite, it's non-committal. I'm not really like fully receiving it yet. I'm trying not to be pressure, but it's, I did make up a song about it. I'll sing for you later. But anyway, it's a lot of things are happening for him, and he's overstimulated and stuff. So he's waking up like every 40 minutes all night long. So I'm basically just not sleeping at all. And then when I do get like 2 hours in a row where he's sleeping, I can't sleep. And when I'm trying to meditate, I'm not like I'm getting like a ton of ideas, and my like inspiration download meter is like peaking, but I'm not getting like that direct line to my voices. Like they're just kind of patting me and being like, oh, honey, so why can't I sleep? That's my question.
Okay, no, it's great to know.
Besides, because the baby's waking me up.
No, but funnily enough, it's actually connected. And I don't want to go. So what I get from your baby is that he's breaking through something, and that there's a lot of heat in him right now, and a lot of fire in him right now, and he's changing really rapidly. I know you just said that, but this is what I'm seeing. And also, Mars-Uranus energy yesterday was the big conjunction. Every fucking new moon since Aquarius season, new moon, full moon, I can't sleep. My sleep schedule has been so wonkadoo. But this thing that happened on Wednesday, I think, is affecting him and you because he's so affected. But effectively, I think he's got a lot of transformation occurring all at once. It's like he's blooming, but there's something like a wall he's breaking through. I even think this is connected to that thing that I said to you, last year, whenever it was, or
Yeah.
I think, I can't remember what that timing window was, but I think it's connected. I think we're like in the home stretch, and that it's almost like a re-entry of sorts where his vehicle is coming in hard now and it's going through the atmosphere and, it's burning up. It's like a lot. It feels like he's about to land somehow and like make his presence known differently. Of course, I'm sure there are, very traditional, clear, like parenting moments that we're talking about, but I'm just going for the cosmic being side of this, right? He's coming in hot and he's about to like land and come out of his space shuttle in a totally different way, right? So that's that. But that's that, and that's what you guys are dealing with, and that's 40 minutes all night long. But I think it's affecting you in this hyperactivity between the second and the third chakra that everybody is experiencing because of Mars and Uranus conjunct, which happened yesterday. The planet of I want and I will get it and how I'm going to do it and what I'm going to do about it, plus Uranus coming in being like, what do I want? How am I going to get it? What am I going to do about it? What's it going to be like? Where's it going to happen? It's like, it's so, what is it? What is it? Energy, right? Like, and my sense here is that two things are going on. You're fucking exhausted. So one of the things for you to remember and for everyone to remember is if you don't have vitality in you, don't channel. If you don't have vitality in you, you got a baked potato. Did you hear the caller earlier who said that their son calls it burrito? Oh!
Yeah. That was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, God. And it's food related. And the guys gave me the pizza with pepperoni and mushrooms. This confirmation.
That was amazing. That's my favorite analogy of yours, I think, ever.
The pizza pie, the pizza party. Okay, so the thing with you here is that, the tiredness is not just don't channel, but it's literally that, like, you're trying. And all your guides can muster is like, you poor baby, like, you sweet thing, like, good job. They're giving you something. So one of the things to remember is second chakra is vitality, right? The root chakra is the basic existence, but second chakra is flow, vitality, energy, all of these, like, maybe I do want it, maybe I don't, maybe I could have it, maybe I can't, maybe I'll go this direction, maybe I won't. It's like, that's what the second chakra wants to do. But if the second chakra is tired, it's just like,
yeah.
I'm hungry. So that's just, I'm just trying to connect your vitality to Mars Uranus conjunct, right? Because the other side of it is that the astrological stuff is making your vitality do this, but there's no vitality.
Yeah.
Now,
that makes sense.
Why I think you can't sleep is because I think that Uranus is charging up your solar plexus and giving you so much power. But unfortunately, all of that power is going into your baby's breakthrough moment, right?
Yeah.
It's literally like, just because he's out of you now doesn't mean he's not going to completely drain your will to live.
Oh, he knows how.
He certainly knows how. But
he is male.
Yes. So, but
now when he's breastfeeding, he like just slaps the other boob, just smacks it.
He smacks
it. Yeah, he just like to slap the other boob, like not hard, but he's like, snack. You know,
Snack, snack.
that's mine.
So that's
It's very. It's like, and he grunts.
You're
you know?
next.
I'm like, you didn't learn this. You didn't learn this from me.
You're next. I'm coming for you next. Okay, but now, in all seriousness, here's the thing. I think what's actually going on here is that your solar plexus is firing and trying to get control of this situation. I think you're trying to find empowerment in this situation, and that you're trying to like do it right. And P.S. every other mom listening right now knows that like you can't try to do anything. Like it's past that point. You're done. You know, like you just got to keep going. Right? But here's what I would say. You know, you're gonna find the most ease and release by letting go of as much control as possible. Not generally, but specifically in a cortisol, you know, adrenaline kind of way. Because what I'm seeing and what I'm being shown in your system is that everybody's experiencing the second, third chakra, Uranus, Mars business. Your baby, because of his magic, is experiencing a kind of breakthrough, opening up, heating up, you know, transformation, radical change, re-entry into Earth's orbit. It's like a very death metal moment for him right now.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be this way forever. That's what any mom would say to you, A. But I think we can do better than that. I think knowing that that's how he's experiencing this transit, know that you're experiencing this transit. Oh, you're just doing what you're always trying to do. You're planning a revolution.
I know.
You're planning a revolution. So please be clear that you're not just having like a sleepless son and, you know, experiencing adverse sleep effects. Like, no, you're trying to make sense of how to take in the cosmic signals of how to plan a revolution, figure out what to do with it, while you have no vitality and are completely being rocked by Uranus.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Revolution.
I wonder what I know re is again. I wonder what vo.
Yeah.
I wonder what vo means.
Vol
vol.
means like go.
Vol,
Doesn't
right,
it?
vol. Yeah, vol. Vol would be go. Yeah, to go around again.
Vol, yeah.
So wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Revolve.
Lucian's coming around again, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, so now so you see the framework that we're trying to describe, right?
Yes.
So the trick here is how to use your spiritual awareness to overcome your cortisol and adrenaline firing. Because I think that's what's ultimately keeping you up in those 2 hours. Because it's like, now you have peace and your mind isn't like, great, now I'll sleep. Your mind is like, cool, back to the revolution.
Yeah.
And then Uranus is like, yes, revolution. So I think that's what's really weird about this is that you're going to have to ride this wave for as long as he does, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that the best that we can offer you is to, in those moments, remind yourself of this trajectory that effectively you have a fucking like physical man baby, right? Coming in hot on a spiritual journey, about to literally blow up, right? About to pop off and blow up and emerge on the scene in some sort of new, wonderful way, right?
We can't wait to see.
Oh yeah. You, unfortunately, are a function of his journey at this point.
Yeah.
You know? And that could give you all sorts of feelings and issues and whatever, but it's not any of the other men that have been in your life. It's your baby, you know? So and as we've said to you before, like, it's not going to be this way forever. And this is an important moment for him to come in hot, come out of his spaceship and show the fuck up, you know, and be here, you know? So, so I think if you remind yourself of that in the moment and whenever possible in those moments, and then as you're laying there in bed, ready to sleep, I just keep seeing this image of, it's almost like you're gripping your solar plexus and you got to just try to pry your fingers off the solar plexus and just whatever's coming up, let it go. I know you have the meditative practices for this, right? But I think the problem was that there was nowhere for the meditative practice to send the thoughts, because all the energy is actually going to the baby. And then as soon as the energy is not going to the baby for a moment, the energy wants to harness on Uranus and make revolution and make change, you know?
Yeah.
Really wake up.
And I think also I'm doing my like grounding practice and everything in the morning by myself. And then I'm doing it with him when I put him to bed at night. And then I don't do it by myself after that.
You gotta do it by yourself. That's perfect. I gotta do
it by myself again, maybe.
It's a great acknowledgement, because then what you're doing is you're setting up, you're really then using that time to prepare yourself for revolution whenever you have the vitality to plan the revolution. But you got to attend to your energy levels before then, you know, so that you can conserve the energy that you can then give to all of the people who need it. P.S. I also just think, oh God, and I really. Okay, so I think that if you haven't started writing something, I never would want to say like you need to write something new, but I felt something scary, good, but like very angry coming through you, like very like terrifyingly, like whoa, okay. I don't know what that means for you, but my sense is that this is why you're experiencing all of this fire, both through your son and in your own self and in your own being, because I think that you're learning about fire and control and what you can and what you can't. And I just feel something inside of you that is like a very big, I keep trying to come up with other words, but a big angry statement. Just like a big, and the other thing I would say to you, which I've never actually said to you before, is whatever you're planning, make sure that you like write something for the Huffington Post also. Like, make sure that there's something dry and journalistic and like impeccably constructed that is about whatever you're writing about, but not the thing that you've written. Make sense?
Eerily.
Good.
Okay.
Great. I love this. Last card I pulled, and this is going to be our last card of the night. It's the Hanged Man reversed. So,
of course it is.
Of course it is. Guess what? When the Hanged Man is reversed, wow, it's a really cool one too. You would like this one. Hold on, I'm going to put it close to the screen in case you can see it. Let's get the light. Whoa, there we go. It's very weird. It's got like all these birds on it.
Putting up my glasses.
I think it's blurry. Okay. It's my fault that it's blurry because it's trying to get my beautiful.
Is that a witch?
There's a witch in the hands. There's someone falling through a portal. There's a crane. I'll take a picture of it and show it to you, just because I think you'll get lost in this imagery. But thank you so much for calling in, my love.
I love you.
Wow, we just hit 20002.
You're doing beautiful things for the world, and everyone appreciates you. You're magical.
Thank you, Angel. I love you so much. I appreciate you. Take
Love
it
you.
easy. Mwah, bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, that is 2 hours. That felt really great. Hopefully, we will have all of our technical glitches worked out next time. I'm sorry if I missed any of you. We'll be doing this again in a few months. There's a possibility that we could do more than once every few months, but this is a part of the Edible Spirit experience. So if you don't follow, check it out. I have links in my Instagram profile, links at EdibleSpirit.com, so you can find more about this year-long spiritual programming that is the Edible Spirit experience. Weekly readings, new moon transmissions, full moon transmissions, quarterly solstice and equinox live rituals where we send you out a mood board. That is actually going to be our next major event, is going to be in March. I think it's the 20th is the equinox this year. We send out the mood board about a week before so that you can get ready so that we can do our live ritual together on the 20th to call in the energy of the equinox. But yes, we'll do a channeling thing as well. And we're doing this now too, the live call-in show, because it worked. I mean, really, I want to speak it out to the universe. I would do this all the time if I could, very happily. And that's why we started the Edible Spirit experience, to be able to give you what you need, showing up in the ways that tickle our fancy the most. What else? The 17th at Alegria Bazaar, going to be doing Aura Picks all day. Teaching a class in channeling in March, and then teaching more coming up in March and April. Yeah, EdibleSpirit.com, Instagram and Twitter at EdibleSpirit. Love you all, angels, so much. Mwah, mwah. Thank you for tuning in. See you guys later.